You've been hitting your workouts, you've been lifting hard, but you're not getting the results that you want. Your waist isn't getting any slimmer, scale isn't moving, summertime's coming, and you're starting to get frustrated. You're starting to get aggravated because you're running out of options. In this video, I'm gonna break down exactly the way that I went from where you're at right now to getting in the best shape of my life. This is not something cookie cutter. I'm not going to give you this high level view. I wanna go deep into the roots, and I wanna give you actionable steps that you can use and implement so you can start moving forward, so you can start actually seeing progress and working towards your goal. So I'm gonna jump into my computer and we'll take it from there. All right, let's jump into this. So the system that I'm going to go over with you guys, this is not something that I, at the time, knew what it even was. It was just, I was in a point in my life where I was going to the gym for 3 and 4 hours a day. I was frustrated because I wasn't getting results. I was literally at a plateau. I wasn't sure like what to eat. And I just found myself frustrated. And I finally got to the point where I was like, oh, I really need to figure this out. And afterwards, I learned what I now know as the cybernetic loop. And it's really data over emotion. So let's jump right in this. So first of all, you're not failing because of effort. You're failing because you don't have a system, right? So if you're in a point and you're frustrated and you're like, you really just need a system. You're a lot closer than you think you are. And in this video, by the end of it, you'll know exactly what you need to do to make those changes. So most guys, they're working hard, but they're getting nowhere. And it's not because they're lazy, it's because they're emotional, reactive, and they have no framework to adjust when things don't go their way. They're basing everything they're doing based on emotion instead of actual data. And that's what cybernetics is. Now, cybernetics, yes, it's a fancy word, but it's actually simple. It's the process of using feedback to adjust your behavior and keep moving towards your goal. Pilots use this, thermostats use this, like high performers use this. This is not a new concept, right? It's just something I didn't know when I first started. I was just going to the gym and doing what I thought I needed to do. I was going to the grocery store and getting what I thought was healthy and kind of hoping for the best. But most guys, they never use this system, and they definitely don't apply it to their fitness. And there's really 5 parts of it. The first part is goals. Second part is the action. The third part is feedback. Fourth part is adjustment. And then finally, repeat. And I'm going to go in great detail so you really understand what these are and then how you can apply them to your current life so you can actually start getting results. And here's the deal. No feedback, no progress. And you have to get no feedback, no progress, right? Here's what the average man does, right? He sets a goal, whether it's to lose weight, drop his body fat, put on more muscle, and he starts working towards that. He starts eating clean, he starts lifting the weights. But when the scale doesn't move or he's not getting the results that he feels he should get, right? He gets discouraged. It gets frustrating. I was this guy. Like, in this frustration, it's one thing when you're not doing the work and you're not getting the results, but it's something completely different when you're going to the gym 4, 5, 6 times a week, but you're not getting results. And the reason is, like, instead of using feedback to make adjustments, right, I would take things personal. And when I would take things personal, I would be all over the place. 1 minute I'm, in the gym lifting. Then the next minute I'm doing CrossFit. Then I'm like, well, maybe I need to run and do more cardio. I was all over the place, and I was basing everything off emotions. I was basing them off how I felt, and I let my emotions take over. And eventually you get so frustrated, you just quit, because what logical person would keep doing something that's not working? Like, this is why most people fail and they don't get results. Well, here's the power of data over emotions. So what I was doing before and what most people do, they're in the emotional loop. So the emotional loop, what first happens is you get excited, right? You're like, okay, I'm going to put on some muscle. I'm going to drop my body fat. I'm going to go to the gym, 5 times a week, like, let's go. And you're hype. And you do this. And because you have no plan to execute, you're just, again, showing up at the gym. You're like, well, it's chest day. Let me do some sort of chest exercises. Or it's leg day. Like, let me do some random leg exercises. You don't get the results that you expected. In the first week, you kind of ride it off. You're not happy with the results, but you're like, you know what? It's the first week. And then the second week, the same thing. Third week, same thing. And eventually you start getting discouraged. You start getting upset. Like some of you guys might be currently in that place now. I understand what that's like. It's not fun. And then eventually you quit. Well, the cybernetic loop, it's completely different. So with the cybernetic loop, what's happened is the very first thing you do, you set yourself up to track everything that you're doing. You're tracking your food intake. So you know exactly what you're supposed to eat, right? You're tracking your workouts. So when you go to the gym and it's upper body day, it's chest day, you understand, you're like, okay, well, I have dumbbell benches. The first thing I got, I have 4 sets, and each set I'm going to do 12 reps to failure, right? And then after that, I'm going to go to incline bench, and there I'm going to have 4 sets of 12. Right. And then because you're tracking this, the next phase is you can start analyzing what you're doing. So week 2, you can look back at how week 1 went, and you can say, okay, is this workout getting easier for me? Am I getting stronger? Am I able to lift more weights this week? You're not just randomly going over to the dumbbell rack and just guessing, well, I feel like lifting 40s today. No, okay, last week I lift 40s. Let me see if I can move these 45s. Last week I did 12 reps, but I was struggling. This week I did the same weight, but you know what? It was a lot easier. So now, like, you're analyzing things, right? You're able to go back through and track your progress from last week. Okay, last week I was good Monday through Friday on what I ate. Breakfast, I did really good. Lunch, I did really good. Dinner, I was a little bit short on my protein. Saturday, I really fell off. So you can analyze that. And then you can go to the third part. You can adjust. You can pivot, you can make changes. And now you're making data-driven decisions instead of emotional decisions. And eventually you're going to end up winning. Like, if you rely on emotion, you'll quit when you feel tired, frustrated, and discouraged, because you have nothing to track. You're not moving in the right direction. And every part about you is saying this isn't working. And as a logical man, why would you continue doing something that's not working? Why would you continue doing something that's not moving you in the right way? Whereas if you're relying on data, you can make data-driven decisions just like a machine would do, right? You're taking your emotions and you're setting those to the side. So you say, okay, my weight stalled. Like, what needs to change? Do I need to adjust my calories? Do I need to maybe add in more cardio? Maybe it's my sleep. Maybe my calorie intake is good. Maybe my cardio was good. But the issue is, I'm only getting 4 hours of sleep. Well, if you're only getting 4 hours of sleep, that right there is your problem. So you can adjust that, keep everything else the same, add more sleep in, and then again, you rinse and repeat. So you course correct. So that's the cybernetic advantage. And again, at the time, I didn't understand what this was. I understand what this is now, right? So like this picture on the left, I was going to the gym and spending 3 and 4 hours in the gym, 7 days a week, right? And I was not getting any results. I would stay stagnant. I wasn't getting any stronger. I wasn't getting any leaner. And literally that picture on the left is the best that I could do until I got to the point where I was so frustrated. I'm like, I have to be doing something wrong. This is when I started tracking everything. I started tracking my weight. I started tracking my workouts. Like, I went into the gym prepared. I knew exactly what I was going to do. I wasn't just guessing, oh, okay, well, I feel like doing 10 reps today, or I feel like doing 50. It didn't matter what I felt like. I went in there and executed on the workout. Same thing with my eating. I woke up, I knew exactly what I needed to eat. I knew exactly how much protein I needed to consume. I knew exactly how many carbs I needed to consume. I knew exactly how much fat I needed to consume. But not only did I know what I needed to consume, I had my meals planned out. I didn't have to worry, because before I would get to the end of the day and I'd be like, man, I'm short on protein. I'm short on carbs. It's 10:30 at night. I don't feel like eating. I need to go. Like, it was just this cluster in my head of trying to get things right because I wasn't using strategy. I was just going through the motions. And here's how you can take this exact system, right? And every single week, apply it to your actual situation. Now, some of you guys are going to see this and you're like, yeah, I know. No, like, here's the system. Like, people come to me and pay me a lot of money for me to design this specific system for them. I'm going to give you everything. Now, you just have to actually take the time, sit down, and implement it for your life. And I promise you, with 100% certainty, you will get better results than you've ever gotten in your life. How can I say that with such certainty? Because I use this same method myself. I use this same method with my clients. This is not guesswork. This is not theory. This is tested out. So the very first thing you need to do, and the most important thing you need to do, is you need to set a target for you. So you should have a long-term target, so your long-term goal that you're going after, and then you just reverse engineer that backwards until you get to a weekly target. Once you have your weekly target, that gets written down into a daily target. So you know exactly what you need to do every single day. So if your target, for example, might be to lose a pound this week, your target is to hit 5 workouts this week. Monday through Friday, you go to the gym. Saturday and Sunday, those are your rest days. You know exactly what your target macros is. Let's say your target macros is 2,200 calories, 225 grams of protein per day, right? You know exactly what that is. And then the second step is you track everything. So everything you set as your target, you actually track. So you're training. Not only did you go to the gym, you can't just check that off the box. Sometimes people are like, oh, I went to the gym. Let me check that off the box. Just going to the gym doesn't win you an award. Did you complete what you needed to complete? And if you did complete what you needed to complete, did you track it? You should see all your sets, all your reps. You should see how much weight you've tracked. Literally get a binder. Like my clients, I give them a special app and they get access, but you can do this. Get a book, right? Get literally a notebook and track everything in that notebook. All your sets, all your reps, all your weight, how long it took you to do your workout, like all of these things. At the end of your workout, give yourself some notes. How did you feel after the workout? Rate it on a scale of 1 to 10. Was it a level 9, like you were about to die, pass out? You don't know if you're going to make it, or was it like a level 4? Why is this important? You're going to need this at the end of the week. Track your sleep, right? Track your steps. The more data you have, the better data-driven decisions you can make. Those are going to play out in the next couple steps. So the third step is like you evaluate everything. So at the end of the week, every single Sunday, you sit down in a quiet place with no one around. This is probably going to take you 15 to 20 minutes, and ask yourself, did you hit your goals? All of them, not some of them, not some of the days. Like, did you hit your goals 7 days a week, Monday through Sunday? That is a yes or a no question. If the answer is no, then ask yourself, why not? What happened? What got in the way? Oh, well, on Friday, I had to stay extra at work. Okay, because you're going to need that in the next step. But if you don't go back and evaluate how your week went, did you hit all your macros? Did you hit your protein intake? Did you do all your gym sessions? Did your weight go up? Like, ask yourself quality questions that are going to help you move in the direction that you want to go. Because once you evaluate your week, then that's when you make any adjustments that you need to make. Now, when I say make adjustments, you make adjustments one at a time. See, you set out your targets already. You can't make any adjustments until you hit all your targets. Let me be very clear about this. You cannot make any adjustments until you hit all of your targets. So if you didn't go to the gym 5 days a week like you said you were going to, if you didn't hit your macros like you said you were going to, there's nothing to adjust. How can you adjust something you don't even know if what you have is going to work because you didn't execute on it. So you have to hit all your gym sessions. You have to hit all your macros. You have to go to bed on time. You have to hit all your steps. Whatever your qualifications are, whatever your targets are, you have to hit them. Now, if you've hit all your targets and you didn't get the results or the outcome that you were looking for, then you make small adjustments, one adjustment at a time. Why only one adjustment at a time? Because if you start making all of these adjustments, and let's say your results improved, you don't know what it was or why they improved. So like if you start adjusting your calories and then you start adjusting your workouts, well, and then you add more cardio in. Well, you don't know if it was the adjustment you made to your macros. You don't know if it was, the fact that you added more cardio. You don't know what tweak it was that you did, right, that caused it. So small adjustments one at a time. And then you just repeat this week after week after week. Every single week, same process. Set your targets, track your inputs, evaluate, adjust, repeat process. Set your targets, track your inputs, evaluate, adjust, repeat process. And you do this until you hit your goal. And I promise you, with 100% certainty, there's no way that this doesn't work. There's no way this process doesn't work. I've done it too many times. But here's the thing. Here's the deal. Most of the people, most of you watching this, you're not going to do this. You're not going to do it. I'm telling you everything you need to do to be successful, but you're going to go back to your default loop, which is drift and decline. Like if you're not running this loop intentionally, you're still running a loop. You're still running a loop. Everybody runs a loop. It's just what loop are you running? So no tracking, no analysis. You're just reacting. You're never going to get the results that you actually deserve, because you deserve these results. Like they're waiting for you, but you're going to have to work in. You're going to have to put in the work. Like this is how the average man ends up 40 soft, tired, and wondering what happened. That does not have to be your story. So hopefully you guys got some huge value from this, and hopefully you implement this. But if you're someone who's ready to go and you're like, I'm ready for this, I'm ready to change my life, but you want more guidance, you want someone to hold your hand, lock arms with you, and take this process and implement it into your specific situation, in the description box below, there's a link. Click that. You can jump on a call with me. We can chat and see if my one-on-one elite coaching is for you, right? It's not for everybody, right? And I'm going to be straight up. Like if you're not ready to play full out, if you're not ready to put in the work, if you're not ready to commit, my program isn't for you. And I say that just because I don't want to waste your time and I don't want to waste my time. I work with people who want to be killers. I work with people who want to go after the absolute best version of themselves and want to get there by the quickest means possible. Hopefully you guys got some value from this video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.